Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Beth and today we're talking homeschool, specifically 8th grade and 2nd grade. This is our 13th year homeschooling, and honestly, every single year we've homeschooled, it has looked different. It's nice to have that freedom and to adjust and pivot and, do what works for our family. And I love that so much about homeschool. It's one of my favorite things. So this year we have decided to use Ambleside Online. And I'll be honest, I've looked at Ambleside Online before, probably a few times over the course of my homeschool journey, because I do love the Charlotte Mason method. Though I'm not an expert on her method at all, I'm pretty new to it, to seriously looking into it and trying to live it out with my kids. But every time I've looked at the Ambleside Online website, I just felt very overwhelmed. There's just a lot going on there, and I would actually get a little bit lost on the website. But after talking to a friend this year, I was really inspired to take the time to get to know the website and really just go for it this year. A lot of what I've read suggests to keep your kids in their own separate year and not combine them. But Ambleside Online has a groups option, and it's really geared more for like if you have co-op or like a one-room schoolhouse or something like that, like a group of kids that you can put all together and work through the curriculum. But to me, it just makes sense because I love family style learning where we all learn together. Most of the subjects we do all together. I really enjoy that, and so did they. So, I was asking my friend her suggestion. She knows my kids pretty well, and I said, how can I meet in the middle and find something that they will both gain from? She'll be in the 8th grade and he'll be in the 2nd grade. Where's the middle ground there? If you've been here before, my kids don't love to read. It's not their favorite thing to do. They're both strong readers, but reading isn't like their go-to activity. They'll read for school, they'll read an assignment all day, every day, but it's not their choice for what to do on a Saturday afternoon. They're not going to go pick up a book and read. And also the curriculum that we have used in the past up until now, it's just been more modern reading, more modern stories, and not a lot of the classics, which are written differently than the modern books. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing, but we're just still getting into it. You know what I mean? So my friend has used Ambleside Online Groups in her household with her kids, and she said it works wonderfully, and she only had good things to say about it, and she suggested that I look into it. She also helped me decide which one that we would start with. So I think I said already, Form 2A, and we chose that because knowing both of my kids as she does and as I do, and the book selections and everything that was covered in the curriculum, we just thought that it was a really nice place to start. The kids do their own level of math and language arts, but besides that, we do everything else together, and we are about a month in. So far, it is fantastic. I'm so pleased that we went with Ambleside Online. Ambleside Online is all a free curriculum online, and it's not an online school. It's just called Ambleside Online. So you go to the website and you pick which year you want to do, or if you want to use groups like we are, you go in the groups and you look and see what's in there, decide where you want to start with your kids, and then you source your books to go along with the outlined curriculum that is available for free online. You can print off the schedule, you can edit the schedule, you can omit certain books or add in certain books that you would like to include. With that said, we have edited the schedule a little bit here for our own house. We've taken off certain books and added in other books. Some of these suggested subjects we have left off altogether just because it is still it is a healthy curriculum. There are a lot of subjects to be covered. So I'm gonna try to keep this video relatively short. I'm already at 8 minutes. I will edit it down from there, but I'm already at 8 minutes and I haven't even started the topic. Okay. My plan for this video is to probably do a couple different videos to include everything we do. So I'm just going to touch lightly on everything we do, and then I would like to do a follow-up video on certain aspects of our curriculum to take a little bit of a deeper dive to show you more in detail what we do to cover those subjects. So every single morning of our homeschool, we do a morning time, and the things we cover in our morning time are poetry, world events, folk songs and hymns, and handwriting. I think I'm going to be adding a little bit of map work as well, but we haven't done that yet. So let me show you what we use. For poetry, you can literally do any poems that you want. However, Ambleside Online does schedule a poetry rotation, and right now we are going through Tennyson. And so I went ahead and bought this book. It's from Ambleside Online. It's their Poetry Anthology Volume 4. And yes, I could go online and look up poems by these poets every day and just read one for free on the internet. But I like to have things all together and not be scrambling around online where, you know, like I'm trying to get the coffee or the laundry changed over into the dishwasher or cleaning up breakfast or whatever it is. I just like to have things all in one spot. So I went ahead and purchased this book. We just read one poem in the morning, and we'll take turns. Robbie will read one day, Serena will read one the next day, maybe I'll read one the third day. The next thing we do is world events, and we typically go on YouTube and watch CNN 10 for world events. I mean, I've been mostly happy with CNN 10. I think they do a good job lightly touching on world events and what's going on, and there's a lot of positive news stories. And then they also do touch on like the troubling things in the world as well. But they do a pretty good job keeping it appropriate for kids. Sometimes I do feel like what is covered does warrant a discussion. So we'll talk about the things, and sometimes there's a bias there. And we try to just talk about different viewpoints and different perspectives to get a nice well-rounded view of world events. All right. Okay. The next thing we do is folk songs and hymns. Now this is a rotation also scheduled from Ambleside Online, and I will put the YouTube channel that we use. We sing along with her. I have printed off lyrics to go along with the folk songs and hymns, and we sing along with this YouTube channel, and it is so much fun. I wasn't sure how my kids would do with like singing along with a YouTube channel in the morning with me in the living room every day, but it's actually really fun and they are all about it. So we have a good time with that. After that, we move right into handwriting, and we set a 5-minute timer. We do no more than 5 minutes, and we all work on handwriting. I'm using a new handwriting curriculum this year, and I'm joining the kids in it as well, just because it's a nice time to sit, have some focused time, and just practice having nicer handwriting. It's really great. So that sums up our morning time, and we do that every single day, and it's just a really nice rhythm to start the day with. I'm not going to go through our daily schedule or like the subjects that we cover every day or what days we do what. I'm just going to show you the books that we're using for the subjects this year. Also, this isn't the books for the entire year. It's the books for most of the year. This is just what we're using for term 1. And some of them will continue on and use throughout this whole school year. And there are some that I have not ordered yet, because I'll be honest, I just wanted to order what we needed to get started, because what if we hated this curriculum, But so far we really like it. So I am looking forward to ordering the rest of those books. And I think it's just 1 or 2 more that we need. It's not very many that I don't have already. Okay. Every single day, the very first subject we start with, hold on, I don't have my big tripod up here. I'll move you back up in just a moment. We start every day with math because it's my least favorite subject to do. So we just try to get after it with a positive attitude first thing of the day. And the kids don't mind math, but I think it's just a mom. Got to take myself into consideration too. We have used Life of Fred for a long time in our homeschool. This worked the best for our oldest daughter, who has already graduated. So I ordered the whole series, and we don't write in the books, we write on separate paper. So none of these books have been written in, and we can use them and sell them one day eventually. But this is Robbie's book. It's The Life of Fred Dogs, and that's what he's doing right now. You may have seen this one flash a moment ago. This is called We Work with Numbers, and it is an old math book. This actually belonged to one of Brandon's uncles, And the year in here, it says 1970, so it's not like that old, but it's an older book for sure. It is old school, just like an old school, it's just an old school textbook, and I love it. So I'll read through a couple of these pages with Robbie. I just like the way that the problems are presented, and I love the old illustrations, and it just seems like, look at this. Look at these illustrations. You know, I mean, I don't know, just kind of vintage in a really cool way. So we've been going through this book a little bit, just a little bit every now and then. We mainly work through Life of Fred. That's just kind of like a bonus if we need to fill in some time. Serena also is doing Life of Fred. She's on decimals and percents. We've kind of gotten stuck a little bit, so we're reworking on some of the chapters, but it's totally fine, and I'm not concerned about that at all. I totally support going at your own pace and, you know, not moving on until we really understand the material. So that's what we do for math. Next week, for history this year, this is not included in the Ambleside Online schedule. Editing Beth popping in here. I forgot to mention that we are using the Tuttle Twins history in place of This Country of Ours, which was scheduled for the Ambleside group 2A. And we only are using it because we had it already. And, you know, I've heard really good things about the book that's scheduled, but we're just using what we have, and it's going really well. This is the Tuttle Twins, America's History, and it's from the years 1215 to 1776. So far, we're really enjoying it. We've read about Marco Polo and the Silk Road, and it's really good. So we're enjoying that. This is scheduled from Ambleside Online. It's called Trial and Triumph. I wasn't sure what to think about this book when I was looking through the curriculum, Trial and Triumph. There's a lot of stories about death and martyrs and heavy subjects, but I decided to give it a go. It's not even scheduled very often. I'm looking at the schedule here. It's 1, 2, 3, scheduled 3 times in the first term, which is 12 weeks long. There was no way that I could know that this was going to work out the way that it did. But on the day that we read about Richard Cameron, and then we had the discussion about, you know, what it means to believe in something so much that you would be willing to fight and give your life for it. And, you know, you might consider this controversial. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, it was a timestamp on my personal homeschool journey. But the day that I squeezed this in, we were running out the door to a swim meet. And as I was sitting poolside watching the kids warm up, the news came across that Charlie Kirk had been shot, and that whole thing happened on that afternoon. I'm not going to get into a debate about Charlie Kirk. I'm noting it because, I don't know, it was relevant to our homeschool story. But the next day we talked about that happened, and the kids related it back to what we read the day before about somebody who believed very much in the things that he spoke about and died in the line of that work that he thought was so important. So it was, you know, it just happened that way. So I just wanted to note that here. But the kids were able to relate those two things, and I thought that was worth noting. That's all. My husband has downstairs with him, he's actually right now reading George Washington's World, which is the other history book that we're reading right now. And one thing that I just love so much about our homeschool in particular, and it has to do fully with my husband, Brandon, is for the past few years, he has really wanted to actively be involved with curriculum and reading with the kids, something that has to do with their school. So he said, all right, what book can I read to the kids this year? And I gave some choices, and he picked George Washington's World. And so he is downstairs. It's a Sunday right now, but he's got the time to do it today. So he's reading with them, and they all seem to be enjoying that book really well. I haven't been able to sit in with them yet, but I will probably the next time they read. Right now, I'm here with you, but I will get some footage to add in right here and overlay it here in this video. All right, the next subject Hold on, guys. The next subject is geography. Form 2A schedules Men of the Mississippi. It's by the same author who did Paddle to the Sea, which we read over the summer and loved. This is about a turtle, a snapping turtle, and we're not too far in. I think we've only read 2 chapters, but so far it's really good. And obviously it's about the Mississippi. So we've got that. We're still reading through elementary geography. We just read a little bit every now and then. This is so good. A very gentle approach to geography, and also home geography, which we haven't started yet, but we will. We'll get through it and it's going to be great. Let's jump into literature. Heroes of Asgard. My kids are loving this book. As I was reading chapter 1, Serena, my 13-year-old, was sitting there and she was like, kind of deep in thought. You could tell she was pondering something heavily. And I looked over at her and she said, "This sounds like the story of Thor." And then on the next page, Thor was introduced in the story and she said, "I knew it, oh my gosh." And she was so excited. So that's kind of cool too. We're enjoying Heroes of Asgard. I don't have this next book here with me physically because we got it on Audible and my husband put it on a card for our Yoto player. So the kids are listening to it, but it's Robinson Crusoe. And so far they're enjoying that one as well. And they usually listen to it while they're having lunch. I can honestly say that it's nice to share the reading load with the Yoto player. You know, I don't have to read every single book, which I don't mind doing, but it's nice to not have to do all of the reading. And then the last book that is scheduled for term 1 literature is Rip Van Winkle, and this is the copy that we have. We haven't started it yet because it hasn't been scheduled yet. I have another copy of this book too back on our bookshelf back there, so I'm not sure which one we will read, but I just pulled this one for the video. So, you know, I've got this Rip Van Winkle. Next for science. So let me grab this book real quick. This is one of the science books that is scheduled for our curriculum, and we started to read it, and there's something about it I just don't like. So I decided to scratch it. We're not going to read it, I don't think. And you know, a lot of what I've read in the forums and everything, not about this book itself, but in general, you know, if you're not vibing with a book, just keep reading it and it will come around like full circle. But I don't know, like reading this felt like nails on a chalkboard to me, and I can't explain it. So we're not reading it. What we are reading for science is Madam How and Lady Why. This one is a little bit difficult to read and follow, and I just got some printables that I've added to my kids' binders for like a visual to help to go with, so I'm hoping that will be helpful. They are enjoying listening to this one, but it's just written in a way that I think the visuals will be helpful. We are enjoying it though. It's really, really good. So Madam How and Lady Why. The next one for science is The Ocean of Truth, the story of Sir Isaac Newton. This is a really great book. It's so easy to read and it's a really enjoyable read. My kids are really liking it as well. So we're happy with that one. And then also the Storybook of Science. This one also is being enjoyed. I just feel like this curriculum is working so well. So I'm gonna say that a lot. Like this, you know, we're really enjoying the majority of these books. It's just been so good so far. Okay, now a part of Ambleside Online also is nature study, and what we do is once a week, usually on Fridays, we'll do our morning time, you know, world events, poetry, folks and hymns, and handwriting, and then we'll move right into nature study. Let me go get what we do. You may already know this if you watched what we did over the summertime. But But if you haven't watched my videos before, you might not know this, and that's fine. I'm gonna catch you up. Okay, so for nature study, Ambleside has a rotation scheduled for nature study. The first rotation is reptiles, which is all fine and well. However, over the summer, we did the Burgess Bird book and we weren't able to finish it. So instead of doing reptiles and probably anything else for their scheduled rotation, we're gonna just keep working on the Burgess Bird book. It's so good. My kids are loving this story. Along with this book, we are using coloring pages that go along with each character that's introduced in the book, all of the birds, and there's a spot to color and then fill in about the birds. And the kids like to do that, and they do it together. They use these little field guides, these little brochures they have just really nice illustrations of birds in them. So that's really fun. And then we also have a sticker book it's a bird watching sticker book. And so when we see a bird, we will write about it in our book, and it's really, really great. I have a little teacher's guide to go along with the Burgess Bird book, and sometimes it asks that we reference the Handbook of Nature Study. This is a thick book, and it is really well written, and we like it a lot. It's super good. So anyway, that's what we do for nature study, which also is science. So part of me felt bad like omitting that one book, but then the other part of me thought, we are going to cover science. It's going to be totally fine. And I love what we're doing. I love everything else we're doing. So I think that covers all of the main core subjects for Ambleside Online year Form 2A. In addition to the main subjects scheduled for Ambleside, there are an addition little list of daily work and then weekly work. Things like daily work is recitation, math, foreign language, Latin, musical instrument, and physical activity. And then weekly, there are things like artist study, timeline, handicrafts, map work, nature study, written narration, dictation, grammar, Plutarch, Shakespeare, composer, folk song, hymn, and free reads. Can you see why Ambleside seems so daunting and overwhelming? That's a lot of material to cover, but it's actually totally doable. And we're not covering all of these things, but we're covering most of them, and it's absolutely doable. And we do school from 9 to 12. If we're not done by lunch, I like to be done by lunch. So that's our goal every day. Sometimes we go a little bit past, maybe to like 1 or 1:30, but we're able to get all of it in, and it's really great. So let me show you. For Shakespeare, we are using Tales from Shakespeare by Charles and Mary Lamb, and it's the retelling of some of the Shakespeare works. And most of it is written in a little bit more of an easy wording to read aloud, and there are parts of it in there that is written, Shakespearean, like original. And it's pretty good so far. So we're including we started with A Midsummer Night's Dream this year, and it's going very well. The kids actually enjoy listening to it, which is great. I've never been a fan of Shakespeare, so I think it's great that they are enjoying it at all, really. Let's see, what else is on here? Oh, for timeline. I've never done a timeline before, but this year I said, well, we're doing all this other stuff I've never done before. Let's do a timeline too. We haven't started it yet, but that's okay. We have been slowly starting and adding and doing this curriculum one step at a time. I did not take the full dive in day one. We kind of had an onboarding week, and we've just been slowly adding in more things. So we haven't gotten to starting our timeline yet, but I ordered a few things off of Amazon. Recommended from my friend Ashley. She uses this in her homeschool. It's the History Timeline Notebook, and it doesn't matter, but the cover looks really nice. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so this is really cool. It starts out with my history, prehistory, ancient history, Middle Ages, early modern, and modern times. That's the table of contents there. And that's really, really cool. And what is really great about a timeline is, you buy this once and you just keep adding into it throughout your whole homeschool journey. So by the end, you've got all kind of stuff filled in there. And then, I guess in theory, in the My History part, it could be like our family's history, and we could just add to it for a long time. A long time. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. In addition to that, I also ordered the big timeline sticker book. Now this has a timeline with it that you could add stickers onto. Okay, it's a really long timeline. Funny story is that I have this timeline too that I ordered before I knew the sticker book was a thing and before I knew about this notebook, because I wasn't sure which way we would enjoy working the timeline. I wasn't sure if we would love the notebook and then or if we would like a timeline version. So I ordered the sticker book because you can take out the stickers and put them into my thought is that we would use the stickers from here and put them into our timeline notebook, where they're applicable. There's lots of stickers in here about all kind of things. Lots of things. But so my thought was I would use these two together and probably discard of the actual timeline in here, because before I knew that sticker book was a thing, I had already ordered this timeline. Now it stretches out. This opens up into a detachable 6-foot timeline. It's really, really long. And so I haven't found it where I want to put it up on the wall. And it has so much on this timeline. Here's a part of the timeline. Look at how much information is on there. It's so cool. So I want to find the right spot where it'll be easy for us to look at it and like get close to it and read it, talk about it and discuss it. I just think it's really cool. So I'm excited about working a timeline this year. We are also following the Ambleside Online Artist Study rotation as well as the Composer rotation. And when I read about them to begin with, I thought, wow, I don't know if we'll actually get around to doing that. I make it a priority because it's different from anything we've done before, and my kids enjoy it so much. And that'll be part of another video that I'll show you in depth what we do with it and the materials that we have. It's so much fun. Foreign language, I have not nailed down yet. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to ask AI to help me come up with a curriculum to go through with the kids. I'm thinking probably Spanish, although Serena has expressed interest in a couple other languages, so we'll see what we do with that. I'm not quite sure. Physical activity, my kids are so active every single day. I don't have a planned set curriculum for them to follow because we don't need it. We do lots of stuff on our own. Handicrafts. Right now, everyone's working on crochet, and my son wants to get into paracord. We have a whole bunch of supplies, and I just have to sit with him. We've got to figure out how to do those because I don't know. Written narration. My kids are not quite to doing written narration. Charlotte Mason suggests, I believe, starting in 4th grade to do written narration. But since we are all new to Charlotte Mason, I'm having them do oral narration, which just means after we read through a chapter or whatever reading it is, however long that is, for each subject, I just ask them to give me an oral narration, which means that they will tell back what they learned or what they took from the reading or from the lesson. And so far they're doing really well. They're giving me really great narrations and interesting thoughts and conversations that we are having. So I think it's going really well. I'm pleased with how narration is going so far. Dictation, we haven't started dictation yet. Grammar, that is one thing. So it is my belief, my own personal belief, that grammar, I don't like to really focus on it until middle school and definitely high school. But this year, Serena is enrolled in classes through Lantern English, and it's so good. It's just email correspondence back and forth between her and a teacher that we were assigned through Lantern English. And so far it's going really well. She's learning all kind of things about, proper email etiquette and how to attach things and work on the computer in different programs and everything to turn in her assignments at all, let alone the assignments themselves. So that's going really well, and I'm pleased with that so far. We talked about Shakespeare. We talked about the folk songs and hymns. The last thing that I want to cover today is their free reads on Ambleside Online. So since we're doing a group, I just read through all of the free read lists that are on Ambleside Online, and they have a fantastic list of books that they think you should read, just classic books and stories. So what I did was, we had several of them already on our bookshelves already. I just pulled them. I have them in a section down here. So when either kid is looking for a free read, they know that they can go to that shelf and pick out the next book they want to read. We can read it together, or they can read it on their own. Either way is totally fine. Right now, let's see, I did bring up, Robbie has already read this, The Courage of Sarah Noble. He read this and I read with him. It's like a really skinny little chapter book, and it was pretty good. We did have some points of discussion in here about certain language that was used when describing Native Americans. This book was really great. It was a little bit of an adventure story, and it offered some really nice talking points, and it was good. So we enjoyed it. We both had things we didn't like about the story, but we both overall enjoyed The Courage of Sarah Noble. Another couple books that we've read so far, we have enjoyed The Velveteen Rabbit, which I had never read with Robbie before. And we read it and he liked the story a lot. It's a sweet little story. We've also read St. George and the Dragon. This book has beautiful illustrations and the story is pretty good. It's a hero's tale, with the heroic knight and the fair maiden and the big ferocious dragon that has to be fought off, and the battle won by the good guy. So anyway, it's a good one, nice heroic story. And then most recently we read about Johnny Appleseed, and this was really good. I love the illustrations in this book. It's kind of folksy and just beautifully done book, and the story was well written as well. It's a poem, and so we really liked it. We went through on each page after I read all the words. We went through and picked out all the animals. So here's just an example of the illustrations. It's just a beautiful little story. So anyway, currently Serena is reading Pollyanna for a free read. I'm pretty sure Anne of Green Gables will be her next choice. We might read that one together. And then our read aloud we're doing, I'm going to start it this week, is Trumpet of the Swan. So we're looking forward to all of the reading. Here is a final overview of all of the main books we're using, except for George Washington's World, because Brandon is still reading it downstairs. But as I've said already multiple times, we are enjoying this curriculum so much so far. It's just really enjoyable, and all of the reads are just lovely. Anyway, if you've made it this far, please be sure to leave a book stack emoji. It's one of my favorite ones to leave on a homeschool content video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want some more. We started this school year officially, like this fall, on September 2nd. And we've been working diligently. We've enjoyed every day, and it's been going really, really well. I'm excited for this school year. It's just really good so far. Thank you for being here and adding a dash of gratitude to your day. Let's meet again, and I'll see you on the next video.